All right, so in this video we're going to see why we put in our main parenthesis and then the string bracket args. So I'm going to demonstrate how that works. I'm going to go to Notepad++ and we're going to write a test Java, test main, main test main.java. All right, and so do we want to create it? Yes, we want to create it. Let me make it small enough so you can see it in this video screen here. All right, so back to the basics. Public class, and then the name of our file, test main. So we're going to write a class, and remember we always do public static void main, and then what we've done so far, just because we were told to, is string bracket args. So now hopefully you're starting to recognize that string brackets means that we're receiving into this main method. We're receiving an array that's a string array, and it's going to be a variable called args. You can make this whatever you want it to be. Args is what the book uses. You could use entries, I don't care, whatever words you want, it's a variable. So I'm just going to go with args because that's what the book is using. But so this should now look like, oh, I get it. There's a main method. The main method is not returning anything. We've been using static. Public means it's available to the entire world. So this method is receiving an array of strings that we're going to put into args. And so let's go ahead and assume we understand what that's going to do. We just know that we're receiving an array of args. So int length of array. I don't know how many arguments or how many things I'm receiving. I just know it's an array. So what I want you to do is when you get that array, once it's loaded, let's find out use that length property, L-E-N-G-T-H, there we go. And so dynamically tell me how many arguments, how many values are in this array, and let's put that into the length of an array, to our variable. So now that I can do a for loop for int I equals 0, I less than length of array, I plus plus, and I should now be able to loop through that. System.print, out.print. We're going to output the array of I. Okay. And just so I'm kind of clear on what now that I know that it's working, I'm going to also type in system.out.print line the array, just so I can see where the ending of it was, so I know that it's working. The array has printed. Okay. Okay. So kind of see how that works. We're looping through the array and we're printing out each value. So I'm going to save this and close it. So now I can do a dir, a directory listing, to see that there's my test main.java. It is there. I'm going to compile it with the Java C command, test main.java. So if I didn't have any errors, it should compile. It did. Now if I do a dir, I in fact have my class file in there. Good. So it looks like I'm running fine. So now here's the difference. In the past we've typed Java and then test main, and then we've just run it. But now we're going to actually send parameter or arguments to the parameter. So in other words, let's say I'm going to send a dog and a cat. And remember that the idea behind this is, should have kept it open, that, let me reopen that so we can see it. Notepad++, and then test main.java. So that should open up that file. There it is. So we can see these at the same time. Ideally. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to hit my arrow up key. This is what I wanted to do. Nope. Okay. So I'm going to run Java test main, and this time I'm going to send it a dog and I'm going to send it a cat. So two arguments, dog and cat, are going into the parameter. They're going into args, which is a string array. So these values are going to be put into this array, and then I can get the length of how many arguments were sent and print them out. So let's see if that works. So sure enough, 2 values were printed, and then my final statement, the array has printed. So these are automatically be treated as strings. So if I put in a number, let's say I also put in a number 4. Okay, so if I run that, it all works just fine, but recognize that if I want to do a calculation with that code, with that 4 here in my code, that I'm going to have to do parse it into an int of some type. Well, what happens if I have everything, all my arguments are being separated by spaces? What if I have something like hello world? Well, what I can do is I can put that in quotes, hello world. So now hello world, because it's in quotes, there's a space here, so I don't want this space to be interpreted as another argument. So I want 1, 2, 3, 4 arguments. If I don't put this in quotes, that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 arguments, if that makes sense. So by putting this in quotes, this will be treated as 1 argument. And then if I run it, sure enough, it's treated as 1 argument. So the idea behind the string, the parameters here, is that we're receiving command line variables.